Ray Atchell is head of FX strategy at the National Australia Bank, and he's with me here around the desk. Well, that goes the theme that tighter labour market will deliver a boost in wages and then help out inflation, but it's so far not working out.
Well, that's right. And I think the RBA itself is it's got an open mind about that. So, Guy Debelle in particular has been stressing that point, that even if we do get the unemployment rate comes down closer to the so-called NAIRA or the full employment rate, just looking at the experience of other countries, it doesn't necessarily follow that wages are going to pick up. But at the same time, you look at today's unemployment rate, 5.4, albeit, as you say, flattered a little bit by a decline in participation. The RBA is saying, it's going to be another couple of years before we get down to even 5.25. Our sense is that the risk is that, on current lead indicators, the unemployment rate, could be hitting that sort of 5.25% level by, second quarter next year, for example. So we might start to see if there is going to be any relationship between declining unemployment and wages. Our sense is that could maybe show up a little bit sooner than the RBA's current projections.
Okay, what's the trade on the Aussie? Because we've got it just right around that 76 US cent level. It took a hit on those wages numbers yesterday. Where are we at? 75.96 right now. What's your forecast for the Aussie?
Well, we've had a forecast for the end of the year at 75 cents, which we've had since August. So at the moment, we're as comfortable as we can be with that. But with Aussie falling down into that kind of 70 to 75 cent range, one side or other of year end, I think a big factor is going to be how the Fed plays out next year, particularly relative to thinking about the RBA, because at the moment there's a very realistic prospect that within 3 to 6 months we're going to see US rates actually rising above equivalent Aussie rates, maybe not just the cash rates from the central banks, but also out sort of the swap rates looking out 1 to 2 years. And historically rates crossover has had some pretty negative implications for the Aussie dollar. So although our point forecasts have only got sort of modest additional Aussie dollar weakness in them, the risks I think are building to the downside if rates do play out as we expect.